What's good, y'all? And welcome back to another episode of the Earls and Saul Show. As always, coming to you guys with no Thursday night football games today. We got the playoffs ahead of us, though. We're previewing the playoffs today, making our perfect brackets. But before we get there, my favorite co-host in the whole wide world. How you doing, man?
Oh, you just saying that because you don't have any other co-hosts. You don't really mean that.
I do.
I'm doing really, really well though, actually. So,
Happy to hear.
how are you doing?
I'm alright. I feel like I've been a little under the weather the past couple of days. My nose has been a little runny. My throat's been kind of scratchy. Like someone like took their nails and just like kind of just literally just scratched the inside of my throat. But other than that, I'm feeling pretty good. Can't complain. I'm super sore today, but I'm doing alright.
What's sore? Your whole body? What'd you do?
No, my chest and shoulders are super sore. Yeah, my chest is like so sore. So I've been trying to do a lot more push-ups these days. I try to get like anywhere, like if I can sneak in like 50 a day, not all at once, but like 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, and it's been having my chest really sore. But yeah, I'm doing alright though. Shout out to Dark because that massage gun is putting in work, man. So shout outs to you. Yeah.
And shout out to Dark because that Jake Paul poster behind you is fire.
Sitting right there in my closet. Go ahead, man. Oh no, actually, before we get there. Yeah, I was gonna jump the gun, but before we get there, make sure you guys go down, like, comment, subscribe, all of that. You know, it's playoff season. Hopefully, you guys enjoy what we're putting out. A lot of stuff coming. Like I said, we got our playoff predictions today. We're doing the entirety of the playoffs, and we're previewing just the wild card. Season's almost over, man. We're almost at the Super Bowl. It's almost that time to, wrap up the season, make our end of the season awards. I'm not ready for the season to end, but it is what it is, man. One step closer to Niners football again in September. Go ahead.
We give a damn about the Niners, bro. They're so bad. If you love us, on the same topic, if you love us and you want to see a little bit more of us, go check out the shorts, go check out the TikToks. Early in the season, it was just kind of a rinse and repeat of what we were doing here to try to grow us a little bit. Now, after we're done filming these, we do some spin-off content of sort of exclusive stuff. So, as I said, if you love us, check it out. The bold predictions, I gotta stop, dude. I gotta stop. I say before I transition into any different thing.
I realize you do this a lot. So the bold predictions, like you lead in.
I do. I don't know if I'll ever stop it though. I get excited. I lean forward.
Yeah.
And when I'm editing the shorts, I lean forward like too much if I'm wanting something to be down here, and it's like, wait, just get back, ready. Bold predictions have returned for the first time in 2 weeks, maybe.
Oh, you didn't have them last week?
I probably did, but like it was weak. These are some kind of fun. First one. Baker Mayfield has the best quarterback performance of the week in a Buccaneers win over the Commanders.
Man, if even right now as we're recording this, I still don't know who I'm picking in that game. Because I would literally, it's a win-win. Whoever wins, I'm happy. I would love to see both teams win. But Baker Mayfield having the best quarterback performance this weekend, I could definitely see it the way he's been playing this season. I think he can have his way against the Commanders, but Mike Evans, just stay out of trouble this weekend. Don't get into any fights. Just stay on the field. But I'm gonna say yeah. I don't hate it. I like it.
You know how him and Marshawn get down.
Oh man, bro, please just Mike Evans do that shit in the regular season, playoff time, man. Just lock in, man, because y'all can really upset somebody. But I'm gonna take the Bucks win. But let me not say I'm gonna take that because I still don't know what I'm doing. But I don't think that's a crazy bold prediction. I like it. All
right, next one. Coming off a terrible performance against the Detroit Lions, Sam Darnold bounces back and helps dominate the Rams heading into a Detroit rematch.
And man, and that game is being played in Arizona now because all of those fires over there. They had to relocate the game. But it's just Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold dominates in a Vikings win, is what you're saying. I think so. Because he played the Rams earlier this year, and the Rams beat them, and he did also have that. Also was one of his weaker games on the season. So I am gonna say Sam Darnold does bounce back and look like the Sam Darnold we saw for 16 out of the 18 weeks this season. I'm not gonna take. Yeah, last week was very very bad, and the stakes of that game, the 1 seed, the division, last game of the regular season, everybody's watching. For you to have that performance does kind of make it harder to just say that's not you. The what you've done in the past 17 weeks is you and not this one performance. But I do believe that he's a lot better than what he showed on Sunday. So I do think the Vikings win and Sam Darnold has himself a hell of a game. That is bothering me so much. My blinds being like off the sill. It's
fix
continue. It. Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
The Rams are only one of 2 teams that beat the Vikings all season.
Yeah, the Lions beat them.
A little worried.
And the Rams. Yeah, no, I'm not worried. I'm not. I think the Vikings got it.
He just looked terrible first time, so I mean, McVay's a hell of a coach. And before I go into my last one, as you said, fires in LA. Anybody out there? Prayers up to you.
I saw a notification. I was driving earlier. I saw a notification. JJ Redick, his home over there. He had to evacuate because his home got caught on fire. Was caught in those fires. So yeah, anyone out there, prayers up to you. Get out of there if you need to. And I seen something like Airbnb was giving out like free places to stay if you needed it. So if you need it,
that's cool.
There's some outlets. Yeah.
Last one. Without Zay Flowers, I'm sure that many people assume that the Baltimore Ravens will be a run-heavy offense. I believe that Lamar Jackson will utilize Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely
heavily. He's going to turn back the clock.
Both
He's going to turn back the clock. Because that's what Lamar was. Oh, yeah. Let me let you finish.
No, that was finished. It's just the offense will be pass-heavy instead of run-heavy, and it'll be that's mainly the 2 tight ends.
That's what Lamar was for, pretty much every other year of his career, but this season he hasn't been using the tight. Isaiah Likely had that one big game. Then he kind of really hasn't done much of anything anywhere near that since
week 1.
Mark Andrews has shown flashes and has gotten better as the season has gone on, but he doesn't look like Mark Andrews of the past few seasons. So I do. It's still funny that you do that, but I do think that you're correct and that this is a good bold prediction. And that it will still be a pass-heavy offense, and they will utilize those tight ends a lot. So
Mark Andrews had 11 touchdowns this season.
Yeah, I think
didn't have a single one through 6 weeks.
Led tight ends and touchdowns. So yeah, shout out to Mark Andrews. A lot of people were calling you washed, me included. You still might be, but you've been playing decent lately.
Do you know if Cade Otton playing?
Couldn't tell you. What is his injury? Because he's been out of a few weeks, no?
He got a knee injury. Yeah. He fully practiced today.
Okay. I seen someone else fully practice. Jalen Hurts fully practiced as well. So it looks like he's going to be playing. Well. Yeah.
We can get on them.
Yeah.
I think we should preview the wild card games just this week, and then we can give our entire bracket. Or do you want to give the whole bracket and then preview this week?
We can review. Preview this week, sorry. Starting off with the first of our playoff games, Saturday at 4:30. The Chargers head to Houston to play the Texans. Man, I've said it all season that I didn't like the Texans offense. You're playing a tough defense in the Chargers, and everybody says what travels in the playoffs is a defense and a running game. And the Chargers may not be the most efficient teams at time on the ground, but they're not going to give up. They're going to keep on pounding the ball and wear you out. And eventually J.K. Dobbins will break one loose for 20, 30 yards. And it's just going to he's just going to wear you out throughout the game. It may not be 5 yards a pop, but you'll just get wore down. And the Texans do have a pretty solid defense, but I think the Chargers defense is just more of a matchup nightmare in this situation because of that offensive line and because of how depleted the Texans offense is, missing Tank Dell, Stephon Diggs already. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Chargers in this game. Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert, don't do what you did a few years ago when you got in. You look like you were beating up, gonna beat the Jags, and the Jags came back down like 20-some points on you guys. So get this done. I'm rooting for you guys. Bolt up, baby. Let's get it.
Do you think that's like a traumatic experience for Suge? Because that was the last time they were any good.
No, I remember Suge was like, I'm turning this shit off. I'm done with this, bro. I'm done. And he turned the game off. And then in 2013 Heat fashion, walking out the stadium, Ray Allen hits the shot and people turn around and start trying to get back in. And they're like, no, you can't. So we would just type it in Discord, and I remember him being hyped and turning the game back on when the Jags were like, it was a tie game where Jags took the lead. He watched the end of it, and I remember saying, "No, Suze, you can't be doing that. You quit on the team. Don't come back." So I don't think it was a traumatic experience. I think it was a good experience for him because I remember him coming back and watching. Celebrate.
I'm saying like now, thinking back on that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like we were there, we made that comeback in the playoffs, and now we didn't build off of it at all. Now we're about to pick in the top 5 or wherever they are. So yeah, definitely.
This damn it, I did it again, bro. I don't need to say it. It's just a filler.
Yeah,
I about did it again.
Yeah,
I about did it
I
again.
heard.
There's a lot of Buckeyes on this football field. So
yeah,
I will enjoy this game.
I saw. And a lot of Michigan players too.
The Chargers just have a lot of Michigan.
Michigan and yeah, I seen that, yeah.
The one team has the number 15. They have number 21. The other team doesn't. I think if the Texans want to win this game, CJ's going to have to be damn near perfect.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately for them, they don't have Ezekiel Elliott, and the other team does. So don't give me the Chargers. Next game on Saturday, we only got 2 of them, and then we got 4 on the other side.
That's what you have to say about that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get it. Go ahead. Continue.
You said everything. Realistically, you said everything I wanted to say.
I'm just saying like that. No, I'm not saying you had to say anything else. It's just like that just fucking pissed me off, bro. They got 15, 21. Continue.
I think the Texans' offensive line is weak, as you mentioned, and Joey Bosa should have a field day. So
Joey Bosa, come to the Bay, man. Go ahead.
No. Nick Bosa going to go to L.A.
Continue, man.
That's going to be beautiful, man.
Continue, man.
Y'all could probably get
Continue!
Gus Edwards over there. Second game on Saturday. The Steelers go into Baltimore and get their ass whooped.
Hold on. I just finished saying with the Chargers, what travels in the playoffs is a running game and a defense. And that's what the Steelers are going to need to win this game. They're just going to have to say our running game and our defense is better than yours. That's really their only shot. Because if they have to air it out and Lamar Jackson is putting up 5 touchdowns, getting those tight ends involved, like you said in the bowl predictions, the Steelers don't have a chance. The Steelers' only chance of winning this game is it being a fucking 13-10 type of game where Chris Boswell has 4 field goals or something like that. I really think that's their only chance. They have to anchor in and say our defense has to allow no more than like 2 touchdowns, because if they have to score any more than that, what I've seen from Russell Wilson in this offense the past 4 or 5 weeks, there's no shot they win this game if they have to put up a bunch of points. So give me the Ravens though. But
How do you score 1 point?
What do you mean? Oh, because I said 13 and then Chris Boswell hits 4 field goals. Shut the fuck up. But I am interested to see how the offense moves and how efficient the offense is without Zay Flowers and without what he can do. But I'm still gonna take the Ravens. Because, like I said, a running game and a defense is what you need in the playoffs. And the Ravens, at times, their defense is questionable, but it's been good. But you have Derrick Henry, so I don't think it matters. So give me the Ravens.
The Steelers' phenomenal defense is just in over their heads because their offense will not put points back up.
Mm-mm.
In 2021, Lamar Jackson said if they win the Super Bowl, he's going to number 1. He said his dad told him, get number 1 because you're the best. And ever since, it's been like that was his first number. Do you think that he still thinks that way? Because that was 4 years ago.
I hope not. He's 8. He's 8. I don't want to see him wearing number 1. He's 8. We just know him as 8. Right. Yeah. I hope he doesn't go to number 1.
Shout out Zay Flowers though. Heal up, man.
Yeah. Moving on. The Denver Broncos. Could have been the Bengals, man. The Broncos head to Buffalo to play the Bills. This is the first of the Sunday games, man. I want to say there's some feel-good story here, some Cinderella story, some Cinderella run for Bo Nix and the Broncos. But, boy, they're going to get their asses spanked. The Broncos have been
not going to feel good.
It's not. The Broncos have been a fun story, a fun team to root for this season because no one really saw 10 wins out of this team. Bo Nix playing the way he has. this season. No one really saw this. It was a fun story, a fun season, but I think you've just met somebody that's above your weight class. You're punching above your weight class at this point. So I really don't think they stand a chance against the Bills in this game. And I think Josh Allen goes out there and puts on a masterclass and not has his way, because that Broncos defense is pretty good, but I just don't think this is going to be a close game. I think him and James Cook just get going early, and Bo Nix just won't be able to rally back.
I can't say that this is a feel-good story, a fun story. Mm-hmm. I don't like the Broncos, so I was low-key upset all season that they were good. Mm-hmm. And I was hating, and I will continue to hate. Give me the Bills. I think that Josh Allen is...
I think the Bills are on a mission. Like, I really think they're dead set focused on, like, we know what we need to do this season, because Josh Allen could have went out there and played week 18 and said, you know what, I want to go try to win the MVP. I'm going to go put up some numbers. But it seems like he didn't really care. They're focused on these playoffs, man. I don't know what it is, but it seems like they're just on a mission to just go. They know who they have to go beat. They have to go beat number 15 in Arrowhead. So I really think they're on a mission. And I think, let me not say I think they will get there, but I think they have a good shot of getting there in the end.
But he don't care about the MVP, but he want to play one snap to keep his starting streak alive.
Well, that's fair. Well, who did that in the NBA? Was it Drew Holiday that checked in for like a couple of minutes when he needed to get paid?
Yeah, but his was incentive based. Yeah.
Bro, he wanted to keep a streak alive. Just check in real quick and check back out. That's it.
Josh Allen was asked what Joe Brady has brought to the offense this year. You know what his answer was? Nothing. Team should stay away from him.
Oh, okay. I see what he's okay. Yeah, I don't know how it would be as a team where it's like if I'm the Lions and Ben Johnson, teams are asking to interview him. It's like, yeah, I want you to go out there and be a head coach and, better yourself, make a name for yourself. But it's like, I don't, a little bit. Right. It's like, I don't want to lose you though. It's like, it's just weird whenever it comes to cause you're obviously rooting for the guy to go make as much money as he can, get the upgrade though. In a sense, it's a promotion. It really is a promotion. Go get that promotion. But it's like, we just don't want to lose you. So I feel like it's just always weird in that sense. Cause Josh Allen would probably still be happy for him and root for him if he went somewhere else.
For sure.
And then he just doesn't want him to go. But yeah. Sorry, tangent.
The Lions are losing their whole staff too.
Yeah,
everyone
their
is getting
DB coach is getting interviewed. I think we interviewed their DB coach or something like that. So yeah, everybody's getting interviewed. They're losing everyone.
They're still going to have Dan Campbell though, so they'll be okay.
Moving on. Game. Yep, go ahead.
You want to do it?
No, go
you
ahead.
Just was kind of sitting there, just staring at me because I know I'm like. It's easy to do when you look this good, but we got to talk. We got a podcast.
Head to Philadelphia to play the Philadelphia Eagles. I've said it multiple times. The Packers, the best team they've beat this year are the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans. So and I also said it doesn't matter who was playing at quarterback in this game. The Eagles would win because of number 26, number 11, number 6 are still there. Packers have a lot of injuries, and also that Eagles defensive line. The Packers, I've always said they got to get going early with Josh Jacobs, but it's going to be tough to get that rolling, to get the running game rolling because you're playing Jalen Carter and the crew. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win this game. And we talked about it a little bit earlier. Jalen Hurts was a full participant, so he looks like he's going to be good to go on Sunday. So give me the Eagles.
Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love were both full
participants.
Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love were both full participants today, so both teams should have their starting quarterbacks. A.J. Brown has a pretty significant knee injury, but he is still on track to play. You good?
Yeah.
As you said, one of these teams has number 26, and unfortunately, as good as Josh Jacobs is, he's not number 26. Give me the Eagles.
All right. Moving on to Sunday night football of the NFL Wildcard round. Super Wildcard round. This is probably the game I'm looking forward to the most. The Washington Commanders head to Tampa Bay to play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man, I said in the intro I still didn't know who I was picking, and I don't know who I'm picking now. But
I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there was a Monday night game. I thought they were all Sunday.
You thought the Vikings game was on Sunday?
I thought the Vikings were Sunday night.
So when did you think the first game of Sunday started?
I knew it was 1 o'clock.
So you thought they would just have a couple games going at the same time?
I mean, that doesn't make any sense, but I just kind of didn't piece it together.
Just didn't think about it. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, Commanders Bucks Sunday Night Football. And I was talking to Joe yesterday, and he was like, "Herlin, so you got in this game? Like I heard you talking about like you don't know who you're gonna pick." And it's just like I really don't know. I would, like I said, it's a win-win. I'm happy with whichever team makes it, but in the end, I'm gonna lean. It's like 51%, 49%. Give me the Bucks in this game. I just.
Look at him, Joe. Bad friend, Joe.
The Commanders, let me not say they're the young team or whatever, because they have vets on the team. Bobby Wagner, Jonathan Allen still there, Deron Payne. They have the vets, but maybe they just haven't been there. They haven't been in these situations. And I don't know what I've seen from Baker Mayfield this season. It doesn't matter what situation you put him in. He's going to find a way to thrive, whether his back's against the wall, he doesn't have his weapons, he's down and needs to go down and lead a drive. He's just going to find a way, and the Bucks are at home, so I guess that's making me lean a bit more in their favor as well. Give me the Bucks in this game. I don't know why, but my heart's telling me to pick the Bucks, and so is my head. So give me the Bucks in this game.
As long as Baker's not shaving points again, I'm confident in picking them. If he looks like he did last week, then they might just get throttled because he's not going to be able to come back against the Commanders like he did against.
And again, I'm not mad at whatever happens. Whatever happens in this game, it's
100%. I like both of these teams. Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback in the playoffs, great story. Baker Mayfield bounced around the league, great story. Whoever wins this game, I will continue to root for them.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, I don't think either team makes it very far.
But I think the Bucks have the better chance of upsetting one of those top dogs, whereas the Commanders, I don't feel the same.
If the Commanders win, they would play the Lions.
What seed are the Commanders? Let me see.
6.
Yeah, the Commanders. Yeah,
that wasn't a question. That was a statement. Because if the Buccaneers win, then the Vikings play the Lions.
Yeah.
So low key, I'm rooting for the Commanders so that Vikings Lions can be the conference championship game.
Yeah.
I am picking Tampa Bay though.
Upset. Yeah, we're both taking Tampa. I'm sorry, Joe. It's nothing against the Commanders. I love you guys. Love your story this season, but give me the Bucks. Moving on to the last game of the wild card round. The Minnesota Vikings head to LA. Or not to LA. They head to Arizona.
You're fake. We went through another preview episode of talking about Sunday Night Football. We can't go back now. You can't go back.
It's on both of us. Because you didn't give me the cue. You didn't give me the cue. Monday Night Football, the Vikings head to Arizona to play the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams already beat them earlier in the season, like we mentioned earlier, but I don't think that happens again. I don't see another Sam Darnold performance like we saw last week on Sunday Night Football. I think he bounces back here in the Vikings win this game. The Vikings are going on the road as a 14-win team is crazy, but I think whether they're at home or away, they win this game. Give me the Vikings.
I think that whether they're at home or away, they win this game. Give me the Vikings because Kevin O'Connell. Wow, this is a great coach
matchup. Yep.
I think that Matt Stafford has just been too inconsistent for me to fully trust him.
Man. I said that like 5 weeks ago. It's like one day he looks like a top 5 quarterback, then the next he just looks like a fucking old fart that needs to retire. I think we'll get somewhere in the middle. I don't think he's going to be great against this defense because he wasn't phenomenal when they played it, if I'm remembering right, when they played earlier in the season. But he was just good enough. Sam Darnold was just bad. Yeah, he was just good enough to get the win. But I think Brian Flores will make it difficult for him. But what I will say, Sean McVay will have them ready to play that pass rush and that all-out blitz. So Brian Flores, I said last week, he's going to have to find a way to adjust and come with something more than just that all-out pressure because the Rams have done it to us a lot in the past few years where they can run that quick passing game, that bootleg, get the ball out quick so that pass rush doesn't even have a chance to get there. So hopefully Brian Flores can adjust.
I also just think that as good as Kyron Williams is, he's also not going to have a great game. I think that he's a little bit inconsistent as well.
At times he's not super efficient, but they just give him so many carries. So it'll be 27 rushes for 88 yards or something like that. He just gets a lot of carries.
Puka Nacua is an absolute dog. Man, so they with him and Cooper Kupp, they always have a chance. I just hope that, as you said, Brian Flores can figure it out. I think that with Stafford, he doesn't have to necessarily be perfect, but if they win and they play the Lions again, he's gonna have to be perfect against that Lions team
Absolutely.
next week.
Absolutely. All
And
right.
this could be I don't think he takes a head coach job this offseason.
I don't think so either.
But these playoffs could be
Big.
put on his resume if he wants to go back to that.
Absolutely. All right. So we just previewed the super wild card round. Now we're gonna get into the entirety of the playoff bracket and put together our perfect bracket. So we already made our predictions for this game. Oh yeah.
We're just going to do our brackets. If we're wrong, we'll continue to talk week by week about the teams and our previews for each game, but we're just going to talk about who we think.
Yeah, we're not going to, go into depth about each game because we could fucking talk about, oh yeah, it's Bucks Bills Super Bowl and it doesn't even happen. So we just spent 20 minutes talking about this game when it never happened. So yeah, we're just going to be picking our games. So I already picked the Bills, I picked the Ravens, I picked the Chargers, I picked the Eagles, I picked the Bucks, and I picked the Vikings. So all of mine are in. So my matchups right now are in the divisional rounds. I have the Chiefs playing the Chargers, the Bills playing the Ravens, the Lions playing the Vikings, and the Eagles playing the Bucks.
Mine is the exact same.
Oh, we had the exact same picks for the wild card round, huh? Okay.
I mean, none of the wild card rounds are really up in the air unless you're a Texans fan.
Texans and then the Commanders. Yeah. Man, all right. So I love Justin Herbert, love Jim Harbaugh. It's too much. It's too much for you guys to handle. Patrick Mahomes, I'm not betting against him in the playoffs anymore. I'm done doing that. And now
even if this game would be just them against each other, going into Arrowhead is different monster.
It's tough, man. It's tough. And now we got the 2-3 matchup. The Bills and Ravens it's a highly likely scenario. So I think we can talk about this one just a bit. Or when they played earlier in the season, and you're making the face, when they played early in the season, the Bills got throttled. The Ravens put belt to ass, like 40 to 11 or some crazy shit. They put belt to ass. I don't think that happens again. It would be in Buffalo this time around. I'm taking Josh Allen. I said they're on a mission, so give me the Bills. So my conference championship in the AFC is the Bills heading to Arrowhead to play the Chiefs.
I think that I guess it'd just be the wild card and then the Ravens in Buffalo. Both of those games are going to be very snowy. I think that there's probably a lot of snow going on in Buffalo because I know Ohio sucks ass right now. So I can't imagine what's going over there. Lamar Jackson, as you said, Josh Allen is on a mission, but I also think that Lamar Jackson is.
I do as well.
Their defense has gotten so much better since they traded for Trey White. Yeah, Trey White. And they made some moves over there, benching a couple guys and just changing the rotation a bit. Kyle Hamilton is one of the best players in all of football at 23 years old. There's no way they ever let him leave. I think the Ravens are just going to win. I don't think that the Buffalo Bills defense can compete with that much firepower.
Okay. So your AFC Championship is Ravens, Chiefs. All right. In the NFC, I'll save this 1-5 matchup. I'll start with the Eagles and Bucks. The Bucks beat the Eagles this season, and they beat the Eagles in last year's playoffs when the Eagles were in that rut. But I don't think that happens again. Baker Mayfield, your story is nice, but the Bucks, your story is nice. But I just cannot see that happen again. I think this is a different Eagles team. Jalen Hurts is back healthy. He's not turning the ball over as much as he was. He's making better passes, not holding onto the ball as long as he was in the past. And they have number 26 now. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles to head to the NFC Championship game. And now the game everybody's looking forward to, whether it's the division or the divisionals or the NFC Championship game. If you want this in the NFC Championship game, sorry.
You did that for the AFC too. You just moved on.
Sorry. I apologize. Go ahead.
You just get so overzealous. You get excited like me. That's when I lean forward to talk.
Sorry. Go ahead.
You said everything perfect though.
Okay. Yeah. So if you want this in the NFC Championship game, you got to be rooting for the Commanders this weekend or the Packers. But man, the Vikings head to Detroit to play the Lions. The Lions have already beat them twice. It's tough to beat a team 3 times in one season, but I just have to pick the Lions. What I've seen from their defense and what Aaron Glenn has been able to do without key stars. No David Montgomery, but he said he's shooting to be back for the divisionals. What?
Oh, keep going.
But he said he's shooting to be back for the divisional. So I just don't think I can pick against the Lions. And from what I've seen from them the entirety of the season, like I said, they've beaten the Vikings twice already. So I think that stays the case. And especially that it's in Detroit in the playoffs, their first playoff game there this season. So give me the Detroit Lions. So my NFC Championship game is the Eagles head into Detroit to play the Lions. Go ahead.
I think that the Detroit Lions are a top 4 football team in the entire league. Unfortunately for them, they're going against a top 3 team. Nah, I'm just kidding. They're probably a better team overall than the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
There's just too much tape for the Vikings, and the Lions have thrown so much at them that if the Vikings get beat again, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, I feel you. No, definitely. It's like, were you really that good, or were you just beating up on other teams? It's like, were you really in that top class of the NFC, or was it just the Lions and then everyone else if they beat you 3 times?
I think they're really that good. It might just be the Lions and then everyone else.
Yeah.
Because it's clearly Lions, Vikings, Eagles in the NFC. All 3 of those teams I could see making the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately for everyone watching and listening, the Vikings are my favorite team, so I will be picking them. I just think that Justin Jefferson would have to have a hell of a game and not let Amik Robertson shut him down again. And Sam Darnold, you're not throwing it to 7-5 receivers. Get the ball down a little bit. You have to expect pressure. You have to be able to,
bro.
He's so good playing against a zone, but just any pressure on him, he was just getting scared. And you don't have to be. You have a good line. You're gonna have to take a couple hits, but this is your time. This is your chance to win.
Because if Sam Darnold has a bad playoffs, it's that money drops substantially. But if he can show it was just not a regular season thing, he puts on his cape and takes his team to the NFC Championship game or even to the Super Bowl, whether he wins or loses in those games, I think this could make him a lot more money. But if he comes out and shits the bed, even against the Rams this weekend, or if they do see the Lions and he shits the bed again, I think this takes down his value a lot. And if you're the Vikings front office, you got to look and be like, okay, do we pay this guy, or do we just say, you know what, JJ, we stashed you for a year, you were hurt, and now you're our guy. So Sam Darnold, I'm hoping you go out there and perform in this playoffs.
But shout out to the Vikings. They called up Daniel Jones.
Shout out to them. So your NFC Championship game is the Vikings and Philly.
The Vikings and Philly.
All right, so
and you have Philly and Detroit.
In Detroit, yes. Just so I don't get too far ahead of myself, you can go ahead with your championship games.
So we both have Baltimore and Kansas City. So let's talk about that one first.
I have Buffalo in.
Nope, you have Buffalo. You're right.
Yeah, I have Buffalo in Kansas City.
We're different all around. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
We both have the Eagles and Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you have the Chiefs in the Super Bowl?
I do, man. I do. I don't think. I was not gonna say it, but there's just no suspense with it. I said I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes unless it's in the Super Bowl. Then, because anything could happen in that game. Maybe somebody just gets on fire. But if it's in the playoffs or in any other round before the Super Bowl, I just don't see them losing until he proves me wrong. I've just burned myself too many times trying to bet against the guy to where I just can't see it happening. And I said Josh Allen's on a mission, but Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, I think, need Patrick Mahomes to be bounced by somebody else on a fluke. Something fluky happens, and that's their path to the Super Bowl. I think realistically, as long as they have to go through number 15, they just won't get there. Not to say they never will, but for the foreseeable future, as long as the Chiefs are the team like they are now with the talent on that roster and Patrick Mahomes leading the charge, I really just don't see anybody beating them, because he's just showed me too many times that no matter what the circumstances is, no matter what people think my team is like, I'm going to get it done. If you would have asked somebody in week 10 of last season who's winning the Super Bowl, nobody would have said the Chiefs with the way they were looking. If you would have asked somebody coming in 5 weeks into this season or 10 weeks into this season, and I told you the Chiefs are undefeated, you'd say no fucking way with that roster. But they just find a way to win. When Patrick Mahomes was in the lineup, they lost the one game this season. They lost that bullshit in the week 18 because Carson Wentz couldn't put up a point. But it's just like, at what point do we just realize Patrick Mahomes may just be the LeBron James of the NFL, to where it's like, as long as he's healthy, he's going to be there in the end. And it's whatever else happens in the other conference.
I think that both of the teams that would play before this round, whether it's the Ravens or the Bills, they're just at a disadvantage having to go through each other
Each
and then
other.
play against
Yeah.
and then play against Kansas City. They're gonna beat each other up, and then you got to play a top 2 quarterback of all time.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, though, the Chiefs, just as good as Pat is and as good as Travis Kelce is, there's not as much talent on that offense as there used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Pacheco is still battling injury. Kareem Hunt has had a lot of touches this season. You got Xavier Worthy, who is fast as lightning, but I want to say that this Baltimore team could hold them down.
And I think both teams have the capability of beating them. But if you just told me, gun to my head, I have to pick one, I'm going to pick Patrick Mahomes.
It's tough. I have Baltimore in the Super Bowl.
And I can't. I know you root for the Ravens, but I can't be mad at you for picking them because I could see any 3 of these teams being in the Super Bowl. Any one of them being in the Super Bowl.
100%.
But yeah, the NFC.
It's beautiful, man, because there's 6 teams that, like, no BS, we could see in the Super Bowl.
There's so many different matchups. Yeah, Lions, Vikings, Eagles could all 3 be in it, and then the Chiefs, Bills, and Ravens could all be in it as well. So yeah, it definitely is. But into the NFC. So coming into the season, my Super Bowl matchup was Chiefs-Lions. But I think the injuries just come into effect at some point. It has to bite them in the ass, and I think the Eagles just have too much talent on that roster for them not to be able to exploit the defense, the missing pieces on the Lions defense. I've been talking about Saquon Barkley all the entirety of these playoffs, talking about what he's going to do to teams in these playoffs. So I'm going to take Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, and the crew to win this game. And the Eagles have the defense and the defensive line to make it tough. The Lions do have a great offensive line, but the Eagles have just as good of a defensive line. So I'm going to say this is a rematch of a Super Bowl of a couple of years ago. Give me Chiefs Eagles. I wanted to go with my Super Bowl, with my preview, my regular season preview Super Bowl matchup of Chiefs Lions, but I think the injuries are just too much for the Lions to get past the Eagles. So I got Chiefs Eagles in the Super Bowl.
My regular season, our preview episode, I picked Ravens Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. So both of our Super Bowls are still really, really possible. Yeah.
And in my circumstance, I don't have the Lions there. The Eagles are going against Minnesota and Philadelphia.
Mm.
And Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, all those guys over there on that side of the ball will be hard for Sam Darnold to thrive against.
Mm-hmm.
But early in the season, Jalen Hurts was turning the ball over a lot.
Can I stop you? It's always like, it'll be tough for Sam Darnold. It'll be tough for the Vikings. It may be tough for JJ. But Sam Darnold, but Kevin O'Connell, but Jay. It's always like you're building up to look like you're going to pick against the Vikings. But Sam Darnold's going to go out there and put on them. It's always something. But sorry, go ahead.
I don't think if this matchup happens, I don't believe this would be a Sam Darnold, like, he wins them the game. I think that Jalen Hurts would lose them the game because the Vikings defense is just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that will happen. Give me the Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings in my Super Bowl.
Who would have thought your 2 teams in the Super Bowl? Who would have thought?
and is it bogus that I picked my 2 teams? Yes. But at the same time, we said that any of those 6 teams could make it. It's not like
but what are the odds that 2 of your
Texans
teams happen to be in there? We did say that, but what are the odds both your teams are in there? But
very high.
I digress. But so my Super Bowl is
never mind.
Go. No.
What? I don't want to.
My Super Bowl is a rematch a couple of years ago. The Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Man, I really don't know what I want to do here.
The Chiefs don't have number 26.
The Chiefs don't, and I've been saying number 26 all these playoffs, but I'm gonna continue to ride with number 15, man. I'm not gonna bet against them, and maybe that's gonna be to my downfall. Maybe I should start to bet against them again. But I'm gonna say Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs three-peat. They win their 3rd Super Bowl in a row, and they take down the Philadelphia Eagles. Give me Patrick Mahomes.
You know how I said my Super Bowl was Ravens Eagles?
Mm-hmm.
In the conference championship, I had Ravens versus Texans.
Oh my
which isn't gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
And then I had the Eagles playing against the Niners.
I think I had Lions versus the Niners.
I'm
I'm pretty sure I had Bills Chiefs and then I had Lions versus the Niners.
I had the Falcons winning a round 1 game. I had them in the divisional.
I had the Falcons winning the South. I don't know if I had them winning a round 1 game.
I had the Cowboys in the divisional.
That's not crazy at all, though. I don't think that's crazy at all. I think most people had the Cowboys in the playoffs.
Fun to look back on that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But that's our playoff bracket.
No, who's your Super Bowl champion?
Oh, I didn't say, did I?
Mm-mm.
I just said that I had my 2 teams.
Yeah.
If this happened, I win regardless because I would just be happy. I would be in all of my glory.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love the Minnesota Vikings, they have been my favorite team my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Adrian Peterson got me into football.
Mm-hmm.
For about 4 years, I refused to root for them. I refused to watch them. I didn't wear any of their merchandise because I hated Kirk Cousins so much.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson is my favorite player in football, and I like him more than I like the organization of the Vikings. So give me the Ravens.
All right. So I got the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl against the Eagles, and Smalls has the Ravens winning the Super Bowl against the Vikings. So you guys go and make your playoff predictions. Let us know who you guys had winning the Super Bowl. And yeah. What's that?
You want the AFC or the NFC?
To win the Super Bowl? The AFC easily. Easily.
$10?
$10. Boy, if I lose all these bets, that's like $90 I owe you because I still have to pay you for the Ravens, Niners. I have to pay you for the AFC North. We made a $20 bet about what was that? Oh,
Chiefs,
which division
Ravens,
would win more teams?
No, Chiefs Ravens.
Oh,
if they go head to head, it's just Chiefs Ravens.
Oh, okay, because it was just under that TikTok, but it was who would win if they go head to head, and then now we made that one. Dang. All right. Well, that's our playoff brackets. We were talking about it earlier. We didn't know if we wanted to do the fantasy format, if we wanted to bring it into the playoffs or not. We've decided as a committee that we are going to take it into the playoffs. So we're not going to do divisions anymore. We're just going to... I don't know. Don't ask me what we're going to do when we get to the NFC Championship game and there's only 4 teams left. Or when we get to the Super Bowl and there's only 2 teams left. I really don't know. But for now, we'll just keep it going and see how it looks. So I got all the teams up on a wheel. Obviously...
we'll just spin the wheel. We'll keep all the teams on
positions.
there.
We could just do positions. But it's like, so I could have Zay Flowers and you could have Rashad Bateman. We could have the same players from the same team. But we just do positions when it gets that, you know.
I was gonna say you just keep all 4 teams on there and you just keep spinning it and you can take whoever you want. I guess
I can get a quarterback and a running back from the same team. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean that also works too.
But like if I take Lamar, you can't take Lamar. Obviously.
Yeah.
And I would never take Lamar, but that was just an example.
Of course not. Yeah. But yeah, I have all the playoff teams up here except for the 2 teams, obviously, that have a bye week. Smalls won last week, and he went first last week, so I'm going first this week.
This is completely exempt from the previous fantasy four-man. This is a playoffs-only fantasy four-man. I won the regular season.
Sigh. All right.
But you won the pick'em, so we
spinning for myself, and I'm landing. Probably one of the no. Okay, give me my wide receiver. Give me Puka Nacua. I got the Rams.
Puka.
So a few teams won't get. What is that? Like there's
6. No, 4.
4 teams that won't get paid today. Yeah. You got the Buffalo Bills.
I would like to take James Cook.
James Cook. Okay. Starting off with Puka and James Cook. Bills are off the board. Spinning for myself. I'm landing on the Packers. Ugh.
Easy pick.
I'll take Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be tough for him, but I think that's my best option. Spinning for you. You're write his
Give
name
me Lamar.
Down. Write his name down. Like that's ridiculous, bro. Write his fucking name. Dark man, go out there and lock Lamar up, man.
Bro, I purposefully didn't take Josh Allen so I could have a chance at
Look at this shit.
Lamar.
I landed on the Pittsburgh Steelers, bro. We're not taking us into the playoffs. We're done, bro. So I took Josh Jacobs and Puka Nakua. So it's down to Pat Fryermuth and fucking Russell Wilson.
Take the deep bomb. The moon ball.
Give me Muth. Give me Muth. Holy shit, bro. This is god awful. And you're landing on the Houston Texans.
Minnesota Vikings. Dang. Give me Nico Collins.
Yep. Now I'm spinning for my quarterback. We got Chargers, Broncos, Eagles, Bucks, Vikings, Commanders. My quarterback will be... Bro, you could have put together a worse fucking roster. I got Bo Nix. Like, not that he's been god awful, but he's playing the Bills. First playoff game is going to be... oh, my gosh. Spinning for your last pick. Chargers, Eagles, Bucks, Vikings, Commanders. What do you got left? Tight end? You got the Eagles.
I got Dallas.
Dallas got it. Is he healthy?
I think he played last week.
Oh, okay. Man, bro, my team is shitty. So the teams that didn't get any players drafted from them this weekend: the Chargers, the Bucks, the Vikings, and the Commanders. He healthy?
Rock him. Yeah.
All right.
He played last week.
Run us through the teams.
One of us has Lamar Jackson, James Cook, Nico Collins, Dallas Goedert. The other one has Bo Nix,
Rooting for you, Dad.
Josh Jacobs, and Puka Nakua.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Fryermuth.
Boo!
I'm just kidding. I love Muth, bro. I love him.
All right. What else is on the agenda? What else we got?
I know that you're a massive college football fan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry to cut you off. But to anybody that's, I don't know if anybody was planning on watching Baby Driver with us when we talk about it, but we're going to be talking about that next episode, Baby Driver. So if anybody wants to watch it with us, this is your last few days to watch it so you can, actually be part of the conversation when we talk about it.
I was going to talk about that in small talk.
Sorry. I apologize. This didn't want that to...
I don't want to move on yet. I want to talk about the teams that...
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk about the teams that didn't make the playoffs real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just a quick little... I don't even know if it'll be quick. I actually want to talk about this a little bit. So the Jets and the Raiders both requested to interview Steve Spagnuolo.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Spags should just stay the DC of the Chiefs, by the way.
I agree. There's 6 open coaching jobs. I just want to see... Pick your mind on who you think should go where. We got the Patriots, Bears...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, name them.
Patriots, Bears, Jaguars, Jets, Raiders, and Saints.
If you were... whoever, you're a DC and OC, you're a highly coveted
Would I stay?
No, which of those 6 teams would be the team you're looking at? It's like that's probably the team I want to go and coach. That
depends on which side of the ball I am. If I'm the Bears or the Jaguars and I'm an offensive coordinator, they entice me. If I'm a defensive coordinator, I would go to the other 4. Okay. I just think the Jaguars are the most enticing.
I think the Jags are the best. Yeah, are the best option. Especially if I'm an offensive guy, but whoever I am, I think the Jags should be the most enticing. Because if you can get what's projected out of Trevor, if you can get that out of him, you know what you have in Brian Thomas Jr. They have pieces over there to make something shake. So I think the Jags would be the most enticing. A close second would be the Bears, I think, as well.
The Saints and the Jets job both disgust
me. The Jets, I think, is the absolute worst job you can probably take because they have expectation, I guess, for them to be decent, but from what I saw this season, I have no reason to believe they will be a good football team next year, but they have the expectation of them supposing to be a good team.
So let's start with the Patriots real quick.
Mm-hmm.
They completed interviews with Byron Leftwich and Pep Hamilton. I don't know if you saw, but they got a lot of backlash for that because I didn't even know it was a thing, but have you ever heard of the Rooney Rule?
Rooney Rule, yeah, where you have to interview.
You have to interview people of culture, yeah.
It's not black, of color, yeah.
They chose to interview 2 people who aren't even NFL coaches right now, so
yeah,
that's it was just kind of a here damn Texans. Oh,
what you say?
I'm wrong. Nothing. I didn't say anything. I want to see. Not even I want to. I think Mike Vrabel becomes the coach of the New England Patriots.
And I know he has the ties to New England, but I would love to see. Like I said last episode, I just see him in the green of the Jets. Like I can envision it so much. The pieces they have on defense, and I think he can be the coach to get the culture right over there. Because I think that's what the problem is with the Jets. There's no culture. They don't feel like they're a team that's united, that's working together, that's trying to work for the same goal. It just feels like they're not a close knit group, and I think he can be the one to go over there and get that culture right. Because it feels like Rodgers and Devontae. It's like you're at lunch and Rodgers and Devontae are sitting over here. Garrett Wilson sitting alone. The defense is sitting by. It feels like they're not just gelling together. It feels like they're all kind of separated. And I think he could be the one to get them, to a tight knit group. So if I'm Mike Vrabel, I think. Well, not if I'm Mike Vrabel. If I'm the Jets, Mike Vrabel is my guy that I want. I'm paying whatever I can to go get him.
The Patriots are the only team of the 6 openings that Aaron Glenn refused to interview with. Just kind of funny. They're interviewing Ben Johnson tomorrow, but I want to see Mike Vrabel in New England.
The Niners. Sorry to make this about us, but we interviewed Robert Saleh. Bring him home, man. Bring him home, please, please. That's all the Niners get. Sorry, continue.
No, you're jumping ahead. Damn it. We'll talk about them too.
Sorry.
The Bears.
Mm-hmm.
I think they go with Cliff Kingsbury.
Somebody like that, Ben Johnson, Cliff Kingsbury, but from Cliff Kingsbury's
definitely
past,
offensive minded.
Yeah,
right?
From Cliff Kingsbury's past, the whole he's good in the first half, then teams adjust to him, and he can't adjust back to an adjustment, so he kind of just stays the same, and their offense kind of plateaus. Teams figure them out. We saw it with the Cardinals. We saw some glimpses of it this season with the Commanders, but then Jaden kind of got going back right. So I guess you can just chalk that up to Jaden being hurt and that rib injury or whatever he had. But if Ben Johnson just says he wants to go somewhere else and you can't get him, then you strike out on him. That's fine. I think Cliff Kingsbury is a fine option.
Cliff also has ties with Caleb Williams already. So.
Yeah, and it's not like Cliff Kingsbury was terrible when he was like that offense just looked terrible with Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, because the Cardinals were 8-0. Kyler Murray looked like he was going to be the runaway MVP. Then they just fell apart at the end. So I think he can do good things for Caleb Williams.
They completed an interview with Pete Carroll today.
See, that's not their guy. Because
I don't think he's anybody's guy.
The Bears have had that culture of we're just the defensive minded team, and our offense is going to be subpar to okay, and our defense is going to be the ones to lead. They're kind of like the Steelers. They're not always good like the Steelers, but it's the same like format as the Steelers of the NFC. They're just, the defense is always going to be great, and that offense is going to be subpar with the subpar quarterback who at times can look good. It looks like he could be your guy, not your guy, but serviceable. We can win with him, so we don't have to go get that special talent. But the Bears went and did that with Caleb Williams, so hopefully they're out of that rut. And so I want them to go all in on this offense and get someone offensive minded.
Jaguars. I think that as much as they probably want Ben Johnson, I think they end up with Joe Brady.
I'm not mad at either of them.
You undoubtedly go offense,
because and it's not because Trevor has just been so shit. You got to get someone for him on offense. You just have to see if you can find someone to unlock what's inside of Trevor, because everybody talks about what he can be, what he was supposed to be when he came out, this generational talent. And we said before the season, this is the year to see what Trevor Lawrence is. And we're walking out of 2024-2025 season still not knowing, still asking the same question. What is Trevor Lawrence? Is Trevor Lawrence at his best going to be a top 5 quarterback in this league? Or is he just going to be a plateau and be anywhere from a top 15 quarterback? So I think if you go get an offensive guy, and so for a fact, okay, you know what? Maybe it's Trevor. Trevor's not our guy. We tried with a bunch of different head coaches. We know Trevor, not that he's bad, but maybe he's not the guy we thought he was going to be. So, yeah, I think you have to go offensive for the Jags.
The New York Jets is a hard one to predict.
Mm-hmm.
I think that between the Jets and the Saints, I think one of those two jobs is where Aaron Glenn ends up at.
And I don't hate that, because the Jets have that defense, and I feel like those are not that the Saints have always been a defensive team, because Drew Brees was all offense, but I feel like they've kind of shifted in a sense to where their offense isn't really super high powered. We saw that fake like high powered offense in the beginning of the season, but they're not really that. So I could see him being the Saints guy. He probably won't be good, because he'll probably have to go through that okay, the Saints have to tear it down, and maybe he could be your guy to bring in a new era of New Orleans. So if he does go there, I would like to see the Saints tear it down and build it back up with him instead of giving him a year or two with this team. Then you tear it down halfway through his tenure and try to ride out those last 2 years on his contract with a new team. So I hope whoever they go out and get, they tear it completely down and let that coach build with this roster as well.
If I'm Aaron Glenn, I demand because he's so wanted right now. He has to have some kind of clause in his contract where he gets at least 2-3 years to experiment before he gets.
Especially with the Saints, because they have some culture identity crisis. They just don't know what
Both
they want to be right now. So and we've been saying the Saints just have to bottom out. So yeah, if I'm a coach, I'm saying, hey, look, if y'all are gonna blow this up, let's blow it up right now. Don't wait till I'm 2 years in and then now, the team's bad and now I'm the scapegoat because you blew everything up and I couldn't do anything with the roster that's piss poor. Let's blow this up and let's blow it. Let's build back up together. So I hope he does go in there and say something like that.
Last one is the Las Vegas Raiders, and this
I
might
think
be
the
surprising.
Raiders are kind of a little enticing job. I think that's a pretty decent
100%.
spot
I think this is where Ben Johnson ends up.
I like it. Their offensive line is pretty decent. I think if they find a quarterback, they're just a contender. But I think if the Raiders find a quarterback, they can be serviceable. They can be decent. They can be a solid 8-7 win team, I think, with the right coach and the right quarterback. And that's easy to say, you find your quarterback and you're a good team. But it doesn't have to be some superstar quarterback. A quarterback that's not Gardner Minshew. You try it with Aiden O'Connell, not Jimmy G, just Desmond Ridder, and then get a running game, because that offensive line is not bad at all. If you get some, you don't have to get a superstar running back, but some just quality backs. Maybe even if it's running back by committee, kind of like how the Chargers do it. JK's their guy, but everybody really eats on that team. So if it's running back by committee over there, and you get a quarterback that's just serviceable, I think they can be decent, because you have the 2 tight ends and Brock Bowers, who probably going to be the best tight end in the league for the next 10 years. You have Jacoby Myers, who's solid. Trey Tucker has shown some flashes at times. You have Michael Mayer. So I think this can be a productive offense if they just get a running game and a quarterback that they can just trust in. So I think this is actually a sneaky good job for anyone to land, because I think people look at the Raiders and it's like, but they're not a bad option.
I think this is an extremely enticing job, especially for Ben Johnson, because he said that he kind of wants to go somewhere where he can develop or bring a relationship he already has with him to be the GM. Mm-hmm. They fired their GM today. As you said, they have a line, they have a tight end. It's not going to be hard for him to figure out what offense he wants to run over there. Just get the quarterback he wants, because they don't have a guy locked in. So
and that's what I would love as a coach. It's like, I come with my I'm drafting a guy, I'm bringing in a quarterback that I'm we're the quarterback and coach duo, not a guy that's already there and now I have to just work with this guy, but a guy I'm bringing in.
And whether they draft or whether they go get a Daniel Jones or Justin Fields, as long as it's a guy that, I'm Ben Johnson, this is who I want, you go get who I want, because he'll run the offense the way I want him to run it. Mm-hmm. I think that it would be a beautiful pairing, and I don't know.
I like it.
Let's talk about the Titans real quick. Mm-hmm. Because 2 years ago, the Titans fired Mike Vrabel. Right now, Mike Vrabel is top 3 coach who is being wanted. They fired him to create a more collaborative setup for Rand Carthen, their general manager. They gave him all of the power. The Titans successfully drafted a good lineman last year and this year with Peter Skoronski and then J.C. Latham this year. They drafted Tavondre Sweat this year, who has been very solid. They are top 10 in cap space, and they have a top 5 pick this year, right? Yeah. And they fired the guy that set them up for the future. Yeah, they were absolutely ass this year, but he set them up for this. So they don't have Vrabel, they don't have their GM, and they're going in a completely new way, which is extremely mind-boggling.
Top 5, they have number 1. The Titans have number 1. Because the Patriots won in week 18.
Duh, because there's Brian Callahan. Duh. That was a stupid question. But yeah, they got the number 1 pick, top 10 cap space, 2 good linemen to build with, but no coach and no GM. It's a stupid franchise, man. Stupid franchise. I'm sorry, Monte.
And it's gonna be tough. it's not it can be a tough decision on what they decide to do at quarterback. You are number one, so it probably makes your decision easier. But I just hope they don't try to say, you know what, let's stick with Levis at this point. Because if you had the fifth pick or something and maybe your top two guys are gone, then maybe it's like, all right, Levis, we're going to put some pieces around you and we'll give you another season. But the fact that you're number one now, I think this is where you just take your guy and just go into a whole new era if you're the Titans and just say, Will Levis, maybe you're either you're not on the team or you're backing up this guy that we're taking number one overall.
Absolutely. As you said earlier, Robert Saleh got interviewed for DC.
Mm-hmm.
They informed Nick Sorensen that he will no longer be their defensive coordinator, but they would like to keep him on the staff.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to either be
special
they
teams
just want him to be on there
or
somewhere.
some assistant. Yeah. Because that's what we talked about it. Because like he was just a just assistant somewhere for us, and it's like, all right, DC's gone, you're our guy now. And now we fire him when he could just go back to his position as well. We talked about it with interim head coaches, but it's kind of the same with Nick Sorensen. So I'm glad that they want him back. It's if he wants to be back, but I'm glad that they want him back. They're also talking about I talked.
You talked to Kyle Shanahan?
Like, bro, I watched Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch's exit, media scrum or whatever. And they also talked about bringing up Brandon Staley because he's been with us for a year now. He's been an assistant for us. So they talked about bringing him up. And yeah, I seen today that we interviewed Robert Saleh. I would love to have him back. But what I will say with Robert Saleh, I would love to see this defense revolutionized in some way because for the majority of me being under the Kyle Shanahan regime, it's always been this defense has been the same. It's wide nine. We're gonna trust our 4-man rush. We're not gonna blitz. We're not gonna run any stunts. We're gonna trust in this defensive line because the Niners will always draft defensive linemen. We're gonna trust Nick Bosa, or we had Eric Armstead, or DeForest Buckner, or D Ford, or Chase Young, or Leonard Floyd. We're gonna trust our guys to just get home with the 4 defensive linemen we have. We're not going to run any stunts. Nick Bosa's not going to go from the defensive end to inside. We're not going to run anything crazy like that. We're just going to let our four pass rushers get there, and whatever happens. But I would love to see a culture change on that defense to where maybe we do have some safety blitzes. Maybe we do blitz a lot more. Maybe we do bring in some extra defensive linemen at times. So I would like to see something change. But if it's Robert Saleh and he wants to come in and do the same things he did, I can't say anything because when he had decent defensive players and he was on the roster, we were a top defense in the league. So if he wants to come in and run the same thing he's been doing, that's fine by me.
The Jets were a top defense in the league with him this year.
Mm-hmm.
Once they fired him, they were god-awful.
Mm-hmm.
You also interviewed, as you said earlier, the Lions defensive backs coach, Deshae Townsend.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know anything about him.
Never heard of him. Yeah, I was like, the Lions guy, he must be good, but I never heard his name ever.
Last thing about the NFL before we move on to the end of the episode is the Raiders fired Antonio Pierce after we said that he'll probably be back because he interviewed with their jacket. He said he hasn't heard anything. So they fired him kind of late. And then they also fired Tom Telesco, their GM, today. And Tom Pelissero said that the Tom Brady era begins now because
Tom's gonna be really involved on who they find, and I forget what it was, but it's like since Tom Brady's an owner, he's calling games like there's some I forget what it is, but there's something he can't be in the because you know how broadcasters they're always talking to the teams before they have the game to see what they got the game plan is to see what they got going on. Brady's not allowed to be in those since he's a part owner of the Raiders because he could just be giving info to the Raiders. So Brady, I saw it months ago. Brady's not allowed to be in those meetings prior with teams and stuff like that.
Kind of cool. Yeah. We can move on.
Yeah.
College football. We had a game today. We had Penn State, Notre Dame. What was that?
I had a hiccup.
Oh.
Sorry.
Notre Dame kicks a game-winning field goal with like 18 seconds. With like 18 seconds left. Drew Aller was great last week. He was terrible this week. So staying at Penn State probably the right choice. Notre Dame, you're gonna get thrashed in the national championship, whether it's Texas or Ohio State.
Fighting Irish, baby. Let's get it.
You're an Oregon fan. Tomorrow we have Ohio State.
They asked me who's winning the national championship game before the playoffs started. I did say Notre Dame. But go ahead.
You don't know who Riley Leonard is. We have Ohio State. Okay. Are you sure?
I'm very sure.
And who's he handed off to?
Well, in this game, he wasn't handed off a lot. He had like 18 carries. He led the team in rushes. You know, it was a crazy game, man. Crazy game. They went on a last-second field goal. So, man, shout out to my Fighting Irish.
He was
But
still handing it off a lot.
continue.
They kind of play running back by
Continue.
committee. Tomorrow we have Ohio State and Texas. Horns down.
Hook 'em horns.
No, we're not. No, not hook 'em horns. Horns down. Shout out Madison Green.
Oh my gosh, bro. What'd she do this time?
They played yesterday against Michigan. They were down 16 and came back and won to move on to 15-0. 15-0 on the season, and she played 4 minutes.
That's all. Vocal leader. She's a locker room girl. She's a locker room. You know, she's good for the locker room. She's just a vet. You
know. 4 minutes. Small talk.
Yeah.
I don't have I didn't really know what to bring. As you said earlier, we're reviewing Baby Driver on Monday. So Tuesday's podcast for y'all. If you've seen it, cool. If you haven't seen it and you're interested, go ahead and watch it. We'll probably end with that. And then the Worldwide Wrestling Waffle. So if y'all aren't interested in either one of those, we'll probably end it off before those. Damn it! Stop it with the fucking ums. And I have done so good since the turn of the year on not cursing, and I just got upset with myself and whatever.
You're good. What, bro? What's going on?
I'm just kidding. I've mentioned on here before how I'm looking into buying a house. If you were to get your own place, what are the first couple things that you would have to have?
Like have to have in the house is what you mean? Wi-Fi is obviously, I think, for everybody. First thing. Before I even move in there, before I even move into the place, I got to make sure the Wi-Fi is set up. I think I have to have my setup with me, my PC. And I got the Wi-Fi. I need my PC in there. I'm cool on a couch. I don't know if a couch would be a necessity for me. Probably just my mattress. And then an air fryer. An air fryer just so I can heat some stuff up. That if you're giving me like 4 things I need, that's it. The Wi-Fi, my setup, bed, air fryer.
Is it crazy to say I've never used an air fryer?
In 2025, I would say it's crazy, but it's not crazy because it's like there's other means of heating up food. Like, but at to a point, it's like we have a toaster oven in the house. Before we had an air fryer, we had one in the house. It's still sitting there and it hasn't been touched in no bullshit, maybe 2 to 3 years because we have the air fryer now. I don't know why we still have it. That toaster oven has not been touched anymore because the air fryer is just so elite.
Fair enough. I think one of the first things I will undoubtedly buy is a new toilet seat because I don't know whose butt cheeks have been on the last one.
Oh, okay. Fair, that's fair. I thought maybe you wanted like a cushion or something. Like I didn't know where you were going, but yeah.
No, I just don't. I just don't want other people's booty juices on mine.
You can just do it like how you do in public. Just put some toilet paper down before you.
In my own house. It's bogus.
Why not? But yeah, you said you didn't have a lot for small talk today, but it's just random. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, you go ahead.
No. I'll go. But it's random. I was at the bookstore today because I know, I know NLTB has been doing the book club and stuff, but I told you I'm not joining that because I'm not going to be reading at the same pace as them. I did see The Anxious Generation. I did. And I would go out and grab it. Well, I would grab it, but it's in my car. I left it in my car. So I did pick it up. I did pick up a couple other books as well, but I forgot the names of them. But I was just like with a friend and we were like, let's just read some like self-help books and shit like that. Just So yeah, so I've been saying I want to get into reading. I even went and got the Barnes and Noble card. Like she gave me some card or whatever. She's like, you can get stamps or whatever for every time you come in. If you spend $100, you get 5 off. So yeah, I've been, I just want to just better myself, I guess. Whether it's, through fitness or just my mind, just the way I think, the what I know, just different shit like that. So yeah. So I will be.
I love that, man. I've enjoyed reading my entire life. I struggle to find
a lot.
I struggle to find time to read nowadays. Like
before bed.
Yeah, but I kind of just go to bed,
Yeah, Yeah, I feel like I'll be pretty fine at making time for it. And with the way my sleep schedule is, it's not like I'm out and doing anything at 3 a.m. when I'm sitting here up. So I feel like I'll have time to to read. So I think I'll be fine in that sense. But yeah, like I said, I was a big writer when I was younger. Like when I started going to like college and stuff like that, I was doing like journalism because I really loved writing. Like even like just logging down like stuff in my notes app on my phone. I do it all the time, like just journaling and stuff like that. I just love writing. That's what I
I do
loved
too.
when I was younger. I just loved writing because it's like when I was a kid and like teacher assigned an essay, it's like oh my gosh. But once you start writing, it just flows, and I just don't want to stop. I just want to keep on going. Next thing you know, I'm 5 pages deep before I even know it. But when I wanted to start, the problem is starting. To start writing, I hate.
Oh,
But once I get
100%.
into it, I'm just going nonstop, nonstop.
Me and my buddy is named Nick. We had a super serious teacher. Shout out Mr. Daniels. We had him third and fourth period back to back, and they were both like I don't know what they're called. They're like you choose to take them, but we both chose to take both classes, which is pretty much unheard of because if you take one, you're not going to take the other the same year because they're so hard.
Mm-hmm.
And we would text each other at like 3 a.m. like, "You started your paper yet?"
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
Yeah.
So we both start super late and
Late.
you just bang them out because
You
writing's
bang.
not
It's
hard to
not
do.
hard at all. With that's how I always was with an essay. It's like fuck. It's 11:30. Back then, that's late for a high schooler or whatever. It's 11:30 on a school night, midnight on a school night. Okay, maybe you were different, but midnight on a school night. It's like fuck. I got to get this done. And it's like you sit there writing, and next thing you know, it was a 5 page paper. You're done in an hour 15. It didn't take long at all because once you get in that zone, it's just like shit just starts. It's like your hand is just moving on its own. You're not even thinking about it. It just starts writing shit. So yeah, I definitely really loved writing, and essays was like a big part of my shit in high school that a lot of my teachers had me do. So
And
I
our
enjoyed it.
papers were always like you type them out type stuff. And I'm a really good
Yeah.
typer, so
That
it,
I'm a
it
shit
wasn't.
typer. I'm a shit typer, but yeah, my teacher also did have us typing shit like that.
My freshman year, just going back to sleep schedule a little bit. My freshman year of high school, I played a lot of 2K, like not competitively, but like we were trying to be that type, you know. And
Like Pro
they
MV.
were, yeah.
Mhm.
And I would play in. So if I wake up at let's say 6:30 in the morning, I would play 2K until 6 a.m. And then I would get in my bed and sleep for half an hour and like pretend like I
That's
slept all night. So
awful.
I would pretend like I slept all night so my mom wouldn't know any different.
Wow.
And then I'd get home from school at like I don't know 4 o'clock. I would do some stuff, and then 6 o'clock comes and I sleep until 11, and that would be my sleeping schedule for
That's
the night.
awful.
And I still don't think she knows to the day, but like that messed me up
Mm-hmm.
for like, and still to now. That's just sleeping. I struggled so hard to do for so long, and melatonin. It's up there
This is
now,
your
but
best friend.
melatonin, it changed my life, man.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to
That's
self-help books though,
awful.
once I
Yeah.
finish Will Smith's book, I want to get into this because it's Russ the rapper,
Mm-hmm.
and I love Russ, and I've heard it's a really good self-help book, so I'm curious on actually
Bro,
if
the
it's good or
pain
not.
I had to find the Anxious Generation in Barnes and Noble. My friend and I, we literally it took us so long. It's like whoever finds it first, the other person, it's dinner on them. So if they found it first, it's dinner on me. Like so, it took us that long, and then it was like, all right, the fucking worker seen us in here for 30 minutes. It's like you guys need it, you guys need help, and it's like, ah, oh, yeah, we do. We're looking for so and so book, and he even went to the section where it was like self-help, self-learning and shit like that. And his ass couldn't find it. It was in some weird spot where it was only with the hardcover books. So we just could not find. We were in that Barnes and Noble maybe like 35 minutes just looking for that book. But yeah, I
You know,
picked
you
up a
could have just
couple.
gone up to the worker, right, instead of waiting until they came to you.
But no, the point we didn't want it because it was like the first to find it gets their
That was
dinner for
fun. Yeah.
free. Yeah.
I don't know if yours is different, but my Barnes and Noble, you can just go to the website and look up the book, and it'll tell you what aisle it's in.
We looked it up, but we just looked up if it was in store. Like, and they was like, yeah, we have two
Oh,
copies in
if they
store,
had
so
it.
we didn't look up where it was. We just looked up if they had it. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here,
Yep.
just want to talk about gaming a little bit.
Oh, I thought you said before we get out of here. I thought you said let's get out of here. Go ahead.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
said before. No,
Go
no,
ahead. Go
before.
ahead.
I got two things. Two more small talk conversations.
Mm-hmm.
One is real short, but Talking about gaming, I know you quit 2K like cold turkey.
Yeah,
I don't know how you did
this
it.
year I'm done with 2K, and I promise you, there's maybe I'll just to give the 2K players and 2K some fucking just the respect. Maybe there was one day where I wanted to play, maybe, but I can't even remember. But I'll just say maybe there was one day I was like, dang, I wish I had 2K so I could play it. But I promise you, I'm living just fine. It's like I didn't even have it, and I promise you, if I didn't buy Madden, I would be living the same way too. But I only bought Madden because it was on like a 50 or 60% sale. It was like $32. I was like, fuck it, I'll just grab it so I can just do some. Because I love just doing a random Madden rebuild and shit like that. Like Madden is not a good game whatsoever, but boy,
But it can be fun,
random
man.
rebuild will have me hooked for weeks. It's like I'm at work. It's like fuck, I gotta get home and play with my fucking 70 overall team. That's 3 and fucking 11. I gotta go turn them around. So yeah, it can be fun if you're doing it right.
So going into this 2K cycle, I told myself I wasn't gonna get it, and I got convinced to get it anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't enjoy the game when I play it anyway. So I don't know why I keep like I tell myself I enjoy it, so I get on over and over again. It's just like at the end of the day, that wasn't fun.
2K is fun with the people you're playing with. Like
If you play, yeah, if you play like Fun Rec.
Yes, and I was talking to you a while ago that's when 2K kind of became like a drag to me, and not anything against Mike. It's like cool that the community's all playing. Was the pro-am runs, like when is the whole community? That's when it felt like, and I'm not even a great or good 2K player. I'm just whatever. But it just felt like we weren't playing just to have fun anymore. We were playing because everybody wants to just sweat, and everybody's bringing the fucking meta fucking builds. I gotta be on this so we can counteract that. Whereas when it was just the wreckers, as we'd like to call ourselves, where it was just me, you, Mari, whether it was Kev, Morgan, Prado, Bugs, Vontae, and like when we would get on and play on those Sunday mornings before football last season, that was fun. Where it's like, all right, we got an hour, 2 hour session. It's me, you, Kyron, Kevin, Vontae, or whoever else is playing. We're just playing rec and just dicking around and shit. But it felt like 2K just became to where I had to be crazy, sweaty, and I just wasn't playing it to have fun anymore. And I also wasn't playing it with just you guys. I was on random teams with people I've never heard before. It's like, whose voices am I hearing? Like, Hurlins, you gotta hit that shot. Who the fuck just told me that? Who are you? Are you in the wrong channel? Like, I don't know who you are. So it just felt like for a while and it's like I just don't. And now that I'm not playing anymore, I don't have any itch to go and play it again. But I will say I had great times playing. Like me, Morgan, and Kamari. It was not even 2K based. When we played MLB The Show together a couple summers ago, me, Morgan, and Mari playing that literally till 6 a.m. every day was some of the most fun I've had in my life playing video games. Us three playing MLB The Show every night, even though I was absolute dog shit at it. Boy, I hit a fucking home run. You think I won the lottery. I'm in that bitch talking crazy. I had such a great time playing with them. But it's like, I guess life just moves on in a way. Time goes on, and it's whatever at this point now. So yeah, I'm not missing 2K whatsoever.
And it's funny you brought up the Madden rebuilds because the other day I was thinking, and Madden I'm not like unbelievably good at it or anything, but I just think Madden is very easy of a game. But I think you can give me any roster and I can score touchdowns with them.
Mm-hmm.
And I told myself I'm just gonna tear down the Saints completely,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go get 4 quarterbacks that suck that I like. So I went and I kept Spencer Rattler. I got Hendon Hooker, Sam
He's
Howell,
my backup right now.
Joe Milton.
Mm-hmm.
And I play Spencer Rattler plays the first quarter, Hendon Hooker gets the second quarter, Sam Howell gets the third, and Joe Milton gets the fourth. Like they each play a quarter every game, literally every game. I just swap them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's been really fun. I traded Alvin Kamara. My starting running back is Kendre Miller. I kept Chris Olave, and then I got like Jalen Hyatt. It's just I think my offense is a 71 overall. Like it sucks.
Yeah.
But it's just so much fun and it makes no sense.
Like I was telling the guys yesterday, like I started this Giants rebuild and I said, because I love having a Madden rebuild. It's like where I'm with a shit team that doesn't have their quarterback. It's like before I go out and draft, and I hate when teams do this IRL, but it's like, let me just go get this aging vet I'm just going to give him a 1-year deal before I start my rookie. I drafted a rookie, but I also signed Derek Carr to a 1-year deal. And boy, Derek Carr made me want to give him a fucking 4-year $300 million contract. He went out and put up 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, and it's just like playing with that old. You can just find ways to have fun on Madden rebuild, just doing different things, just rebuilding teams. It can just be so much fun on Madden. But Madden is still a fucking shit game, so fuck you, EA. You don't get any props. It's still a garbage game.
Last thing, waking up. Holy shit! Last thing before we get out of here. As I was saying, I've always struggled sleeping. Waking up in the morning is one of the hardest things in the world for me to do.
Mm-hmm.
I saw an app today, and it's an alarm, and like you have to either solve a math problem or like doing some type of challenge before it'll shut off.
Send me that app. Because
I took a nap when
I struggle with getting out of bed. It's like I don't just wake up and I'm springing out of bed. I wake up, roll over, check my phone. I'm 5 more minutes. I'm closing my eyes. Even if I do wake up, I'm still just laying there on my phone. I'm not getting up and starting my day. Or if I get up, I'm using the bathroom, then I'm jumping right back in the bed. That's how I start my day, by sitting in bed for another hour or two.
I took a nap when I got home, and I set the alarm for 8 p.m. so I would get back up and I could, get back to normal life. And the challenge when it goes off is like it's the little tiles. It shows you them for a second, and it goes off, and you have to click them where like they were at. And it was 3 rounds of it, and the alarm is just blaring. So I'm getting pissed off because
delete that fucking app, man. I'd be pissed. I'm deleting this shit, man. If I can't solve it, my eyes are all. I'd be so pissed.
That's the worst part because it's blaring and I'm wanting it to go off. So I solve them as fast as I can. I put my phone back down and I just zonk out again.
That's how people have said, oh, just put your phone across the room. My room isn't very big, so I'll put it on the dresser or something, not on my bed. So it's not like I can just roll over and turn it off. It's like, okay, I'll put it on my dresser. Alarm goes off, wakes me up from the dresser. Boy, I'm not even getting out of the bed. I'm just reaching over and just tapping it and then jumping back into the bed. Even if I have to get back up, I'll just jump right back into the bed. So I definitely have to get better at just waking up and then just being up for the day and actually being productive. I just lay there in the bed.
I hate my sleeping self so much because I do that. I keep my phone on my desk right here to charge. Mm-hmm. So I physically have to get out of bed to come and grab it. Mm-hmm. And I'll turn the alarm off. And I'll just set it down on the table here and get back in bed.
And it's like, I'm already up. Why not just, but like you said, your sleeping self is just different.
Up,
exactly.
bro.
I'm already up. It's like, for her, let's just fucking keep on walking. Just walk around the house. Go do something. But it's like, I just see my bed. It's like, fuck, let me just jump right back in. Because I'm technically up, but it's like, I'm not doing shit. So yeah,
10 minutes won't hurt anybody.
Exactly. In 10 minutes, just snowballs into another hour. And then next thing you know, it's 2 p.m. on some, yeah. That's the absolute worst. And if I wake up too early than what I want, it's like, all right, I wanted to wake up at 10. I'm up at 9:30. Fuck it, I'll take 30 more minutes to actually wake up at 10. It's like, no, I should just wake up, whatever. I woke up early, I should just get up. But it's like, shit, since I set my alarm for 10 and I woke up before, it's like, no, let me take my 30 more minutes. And then I wake up at 1 p.m. So like, I just gotta just get up whenever I wake up, to be honest. I just gotta stop.
And it also doesn't make any sense because in the summers we work like 14, 15 hours every day. Mm-hmm. So you wake up at 5 a.m., you go into work, you get off at 9 and you just want to go home, eat, and go to bed. So I go to bed and I get up in the morning and I just get up and go to work. How does that make any sense? I'm waking up at 5.
Work is the one thing where it's like when I set an alarm, it will always wake me up and spring me out of the bed no matter what. Like because I don't usually work mornings, but when I do work mornings, that's when I'm on time. If you give me an afternoon shift, I'm not on time. But if you give me the morning shift, I will be there whenever you fucking ask me to come in. Because boy, my alarm will get me up and out of the bed for work. But when it's just like me just wanting to get up and be productive, for some reason, it's like, nah, I'm chilling. If I don't have to be there, it's like, whatever. If I told myself, okay, I'm getting up at 9 to go walk or go to the grocery store, it's like, it'll be there. But for when it's work, it's like, nah, I'm getting my ass up. So I just need to have that mentality for all the other things. But
I think it's just like, if it feels important, your body will tell you have to get up. Because like in the summers, I have to be there. It's not like, oh, if he comes 20 minutes late, it's okay. Mm-hmm. If I'm not there, somebody's getting furious with me. Mm-hmm. We had a guy come from Germany to put a propeller on one of our planes and test it out. And when he came, I was there on time every day. Mm-hmm. Every other day, it's like 20 minutes late. They don't care. I might as well just sleep in a little bit, take my time. If I just show up on time, that half hour is money in my pocket.
And literally, it's like I'm late 30 minutes every day. Now it's like if I add up, okay, 30 minutes each day, every 2 days, that's 1 hour of pay. If I did that for a month, that's fucking 2 shifts I just missed. I think about that all the time. It's like, fuck, bro, I'm losing myself out on so much money. And it's like, in the grand scheme of things, when we say 10 more minutes, what the fuck is 10 more minutes doing for us?
Nothing.
If anything, it's making you more pissed when your 10 minutes are up because it felt like it was 1. So like I may as well have just gotten up and been ready, and then I can sit down and just chill for a little bit before I have to go. Now I have an extra couple of minutes before I have to leave the house. But it's like that 10, 30 minutes, it literally does nothing when we say, all right, just 5 more minutes. It does nothing.
But it's so enticing.
Yeah. In the moment, it's like
funny how the body works.
It's like the what is it, the clarification, the post, the post blank clarification. It's like the post their extra 10 minutes clarification is like, boy, I did not need that shit. Don't even make that face. Well, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Let's wrap this shit up, man. Let's wrap this shit up.
You enjoyed?
Yep.
We appreciate y'all. Mm-hmm. We love you.
Let us know your Super Bowl predictions down in the comments. Who you guys got? You don't have to put the whole bracket, but who you guys got in the big game. Go ahead.
I didn't see anybody say Netflix last episode.
No one. So all of y'all are fake.
All of y'all are fake. Nobody's listening to us right now.
Made it to the end. Yeah, no one's listening to us right now. How deep are we into this?
Let's both call out a random person that we know watches every episode and say fuck them.
Fuck you, Joe.
Damn, Joe. Hey, Frosty. Bitch.
All right. We appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Enjoy some football. Enjoy the playoffs. These were teams in it. I'm rooting for you guys. If not, we'll see you next season. As always, love you guys. Peace.
Love y'all.